Yeah, what's up? What's up with it, y'all? Yeah, I had to. I couldn't not come back and do this video right here because this was just something that was just kind of, it had me tripping out. It's like, how can they, which I like, I understand, right? Like, like this is a welcome to America. You feel me? They can just really wipe you clean to where it seems like you don't even exist. Like you never was here. This is something that they can do, and it's something that people say has been happening to them. And and I had talked about it in the last video, so I said let me come and do this one because, again, I'm gonna be back later. I don't know what I'm gonna talk about later, but I'll be back later. Later. But I just had to come and just show this real fast so you can see what I'm talking about because this is like crazy. They can just erase you.
Looks like ICE is altering police databases to erase people. Like, erase people's records. Like, people who have Hispanic last names, getting rid of their social security number data, their driver's license information. So when you get pulled over, it doesn't look like you're a fucking citizen. And they could
Yeah,
do
that's
this to
crazy.
anybody. And there's a TikTok creator on here who is
We're gonna
white
get to
cis
her.
dude, but posts a lot of anti-ICE kind of content like me, a lot of anti-establishment shit. And they had officers show up at their door, tell them they were not a citizen, and try to deport them because their records had been changed in the systems. And there is a current court case going on because of it. And I'm starting to see more and more stories of people being pulled over who are citizens who are having to prove their citizenship because their information isn't in databases, especially people
Crazy.
with.
That
So
is
I'm here with my
crazy.
nephew Adriel Lorenzo, who was born here, U.S. citizen, born in the United States, in Brooklyn, New York. In fact, I was behind the ambulance when my sister was going to give birth with him at Long Island College Hospital in downtown Brooklyn. Today, this morning, on his way from work, a U.S. citizen, and this is happening, people, pay attention. A U.S. citizen was stopped by ICE and harassed. 8 officers surrounded him, asked him if he had a fake ID when he presented his state ID and his driver's license. They cut up illegally his legal state ID and asked him if it was a fake driver's license.
He looked like he
They
about to
detained
cry.
him unlawfully without probable cause, just getting out of his car, coming off from work, working with children that he works with, going into 7-Eleven. I'll let him tell you how he feels. Adriel, how did you feel at that time? What power did you think you have?
Well, you don't have no power. You can't defend yourself. Everything going around with them talking about you're powerless when there's people surrounding you and they're saying that they can shoot you down and all they'll give you is your remains to your family. It makes you scared. You can't say nothing. If you curse the cops out, they can take you down. They said that my documents were fake. They asked for a green card. They asked me many times where I was from, what's my ethnicity. It was like it was racial profiling. I got stopped for absolutely no reason. I did nothing. When I was there, you feel scared, you feel hopeless. You don't have your phone, you can't call nobody, you don't have your wallet. They took both of my identifications, cut it up, they cut my ID up. They told me my driver's license was fake, and my driver's license was just renewed and issued about a month ago. So I have no idea. Inside of Florida, the back of Florida's IDs have a little picture to determine that your ID is real or if it's fake. For them to, what happened was just, it's a lot. So
How long did they hold?
about 35 to 40 minutes.
What happened when they released you?
They basically said that you need to carry all your documents to have your social security card, and I need to be more careful going forward and not to be carrying 2 identifications.
What is it illegal to carry 2 identifications?
Yes, 2 identification cards. That's what they said.
Did they told you it was illegal?
They said it was illegal.
It is not.
2
It is not. I have my passport card and I have my driver's license.
But I had my.
There's no statute. That's okay. There's no statute that says that it's illegal in the state of Florida or any place that I know in the U.S. to carry multiple IDs. In fact, it's better to carry more. then that's sufficient.
Why did they cut up my ID?
That's a great question. We need to find out. Did you have the names? Did anybody call any of them by names? Do you remember?
I don't remember any of
Okay. All right. I understand. What happened when you got to go? What happened when you got back in the car? How did you feel? What did you do?
I panicked and I called my uncle, and I cried for a while. And I was just scared to even drive home because imagine you getting
He looked like he
again.
wanted to cry right now.
It's all over. They're checking random cars. They're stopping people because they have temporary tags in their cars because they think they're.
Did you have temporary tags?
No, I had a Florida tag, and the car is actually registered to my mom.
I know.
She's actually an American citizen as well.
Right.
So.
So, folks, I'm just sharing the story with you because it's important that people know exactly what's going on here. U.S. citizens, law-abiding U.S. citizens who were being stopped without any probable cause, no infraction. There wasn't a traffic violation. It's simply profiling. They stopped a U.S. citizen born in Brooklyn, New York, and I can testify. My name is Dr. Alberto Alexander. I was there when he was born.
Hey, that's wow. I was looking at this one right here. Let me see if I can catch this lady right here explaining what happened to her kids. I was
like to
like,
share with
golly.
you that transpired over the weekend that happened with my kids. It's very disturbing. It's worth a like and a share, especially if you know people that are traveling or if you're traveling anywhere out of the country with your United States passport. So both my kids, adult children, 21
Chill
and
out,
22,
Wally. Chill
were
out.
spending the weekend, the holiday weekend in San Diego. My son was leaving Thursday. My daughter was leaving Friday. My son on Thursday called me and said that he had an issue at DIA with his ID, saying that I was going to need to overnight his passport because they're telling.
Let's see. I want to let people in your country without ID activate hundreds. You don't got to, Wally. I can just block you from here, bro. Don't even worry about it. I got you. Let me help you out. Let me help you out. All right. You feel me? By the fact, but first let me delete you. I'm gonna help you right now. You feel me? Because you ain't got nothing else to do. Go watch. So go do something, bro. Don't be a hater, man. You're supposed to like people. It's crazy, man. I don't understand people. Like your vibration's supposed to be. That's how high your vibration is. Okay, I'm gonna help you though. I'm gonna help you better yourself. But let's get back to the video with no more disturbances.
Him that he needs a real ID. I was a little confused with this because I was under the impression my son had a Colorado ID, but he does not. He had a California ID, which was a um, real ID certified. So no problem. Overnight his passport. He gets it. Whatever. I at this time am preparing for a trip to Southern Colorado. I'm going camping. I'm going to be off grid. My daughter, the 22-year-old, is slated to leave to San Diego on Friday. She gets on, the plane. As far as I'm concerned, with no issues. I'm not getting text messages or calls because I'm again off grid. Cell reception is spotty. I'm not getting messages hours later, whatever. So I'm seeing that they're posted every little spotty reception I am, and I could see that she's there. They're having a good time with their friends at the concert, on the boat, blah, blah, blah. Sunday, I'm packing up. I know that my daughter is slated to fly back home. Oh, I forgot to mention this. My daughter lost her ID a few months ago, so she's been rocking out with her passport for identification. So this means that she traveled from Denver to San Diego with her United States passport. Okay. From Denver to San Diego with her passport. Again, I'm unaware that there was any issue because I was out of cell service. I left to Southern Colorado on Thursday. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, pretty much flying dark, okay, without any sort of communication. Let's fast forward to Sunday. I get a message from her saying that they're giving me a hard time again. Don't even know what that means. Again, traveling through the mountains, getting spotty service. I try to call her text her. My text didn't go through. Call was going straight to voicemail. Now I'm traveling about 4.5 hours away from Denver. And I check her location. It shows her location still in San Diego. And I know from previous conversation, she said that she was slated to return from San Diego around noon, 12:30. Well, it's around that time, and I check her location still in San Diego, which that could happen, if you're on the plane. It still shows that you're at the place you were when you left. Try calling, nothing. Whatever. So that's that. I'm getting a little worried because she always replies 1:30, 2:30. She should have landed at noon, and then I'm thinking, well, maybe I got the time wrong. So calling, still going straight to voicemail, still shows her location in San Diego. I'm just like, what is this problem? What problem again? With I had no idea what the first problem was. So around 2 o'clock, I start getting really worried. I call my son, who's here in Denver,
That's
and asked
crazy that you
him
even got to
if
carry all that these days.
he had heard from his sister. He said, "Yeah, I'm picking her up from Union soon." I'm like, "Okay, good. She landed." So she comes home, and I was like, what was the issue?" She's like, "Mom," she's like, "they gave me an issue leaving Denver with my passport. And then in San Diego, they pretty much detained her because they were saying that her passport was invalid. Now, this child has had a passport since she was an infant. Okay.
I don't got
She
one of
has
those.
flown all over the world with us. And I'm just completely perplexed by what she's telling me. And I'm like, well, what do you mean? She's saying they were saying that my information is invalid, that they couldn't find me in their system. Her passport doesn't expire till 2032. There's stamps in her passport. They literally made her miss her flight, pulled her into another room, questioned her about her information, didn't
Exactly.
know what
Like it's wild, right? Because if you can just get deleted that easy, that's just like what can you say? I mean, like they can
to
do
do.
this.
She said that people on Southwest were extremely great, gracious, and tried to accommodate. They put her on another flight. But yeah, I mean, what is this? What is this? So today I woke up, I'm very concerned with this. And I'm like, you have to call the passport agency. And we're lucky that we live in Colorado. We have one in Parker, Colorado, one of few in the country where you can go and get your passport same day. We have one of those here. I said, you need to get on the phone with them. You need to go down there. You need to figure out what the hell issue
What
was
you
at the airport,
socking?
because God forbid my daughter was stuck in a country and this was happening to her in a country. How, what would they have done? What do you mean there's no information? Her
That's supposed to be
information's not
Maxie.
in the system. Like, what
Oh
is
man,
that? This
that's crazy to go all the way out of town and get popped. Like, oh my god, that's just wild, bro. You can't even. Ain't that? Oh, thank you, Palmer. That's crazy, bro. Dang, dang. One of my partners just got, you know, dang, golly, bro. We gotta be more careful, man. I don't know what the hell is going on. Seems like every month somebody I know gets smacked. And it's like, it's like, what can you say? It's like, what the fuck, man? Then, you see the video and you still going like, what in the hell, bro? What in the hell?
ICE is wiping people's identities away just for their last name. I saw a video of a guy who got pulled over the other day, white presenting man, got pulled over by the police. They asked for his ID. They told him they couldn't find anything in the system. Asked him for his ID, asked him if he had several different IDs from other states, which he did. He gave them those, asked him for his social security number, couldn't find anything about this man in their system. Called the sergeant. The sergeant comes,
Oh,
checks him
bro,
out, is like,
ain't
cool,
that
you're good. The guy's like,
okay?
no, wait, why can't you
I
find me
don't
in
know.
your
It's all
system?
coming together
The
now.
sergeant goes, you can thank ICE for this. They've wiped all of your information from the system. They flagged you because of your last name, because he has a Hispanic looking last name. Not only are they flagging people, they're wiping people's identity away on record so that when they go to pick people up, they have no way of verifying whether or not they're actually a US citizen. Understand the severity of that. They are wiping people's identities away who may be valid US citizens, who are US citizens, who live in America. They're wiping their identities away in order to justify picking them up and deporting them to a country that they've never been to.
That is wild.
How the U.S. used the...
If you're a student in the United States, you have to watch this video. The government just announced a new policy for terminating international students' legal status. If you remember, just a month ago, many students suddenly lost their status and were subject for removal. And then the government reversed that and started putting many students back in status. As a result of that litigation, a new policy came out just a couple of days ago. Under the new policy, ICE is allowed to terminate student status if that student's visa was revoked by the State Department. Previously, if the State Department revoked your visa, you could still stay in the United States, finish your studies, and then go home. The State Department can revoke your visa for any reason. They find out that you worked while you're being a student, you failed your studies, and things like that. Once again, previous visa revocation did not mean that automatically...
They're going to make it seem like you wasn't even here. Mama don't know where your Xbox is? No. Okay, well, look behind the TV. Okay, well, you gotta wait. I want to find that dude who got pulled over. Like, and he wasn't even, like, the police telling him he wasn't in the system. I'm like, like I said, I got 2 kids that are, of Mexican descent. And I'm glad they got my last name, though. I'm kind of glad that they have my last name so they don't, you feel me, have to, go through that. Because if they got erased, that'll be fucking crazy, bro. That'll be some wild shit. Let me see, the last word with who? I don't know where that dude is.
How many human errors does Donald Trump's Justice Department plan to make in that investigation that they first said was...
Nah, but yeah, I just kind of wanted to show that, which is like kind of crazy because I don't know what happened with that other guy. Like it was a guy who video. Oh, here you go. I think is this him? Wait, I think this is him.
That's a first. I've never had them ask for my social security.
Holy shit!
All right, so crazy fun experience I had today is. I was driving and I noticed a cop bang a U-turn hard.
Cryo.
Turned her blues on, came flying up behind me. So I parked in a bank parking lot just because it was out of the way and it's Sunday. And so I am sitting there. She walks up. She tells me why she pulled me over. It was because of a inspection sticker. Not a big deal, really. Asked for my ID, give her my ID. And then she comes back over after 4 or 5 minutes, and she's like, do you have an ID in any other states? And I was like, yeah, here's the other states I've had IDs in. And so I'm not thinking much of it. I was like, okay, it must be a clerical issue or something. And she ends up coming back a few minutes later, and she's like, okay, can I get your social security number? I was like, that's a first. I've never had them ask for my social security number at any traffic stop ever. So I'm like, okay, here's the social security number. Then like 5 minutes later again, she comes back. She's like, yeah, so I'm not pulling you up in any of our systems in any state you said you had a license in. She's like, I had to call my sergeant. I was like, okay, well, see how that goes then. So the sergeant ends up coming up. He asked me to step out of the car, but essentially plays back everything. And he's like, is this a real license? I was like, yeah, it's a real license. He's like, this is a real license from that state. I'm like, yeah, it is. He's like, so there's no like security codes or holographics or anything. I was like, I don't know. There's just the ID they give me. And I was like, I even have the motorcycle permit in my wallet still. So it's like, I have that one if you want to see that one. He's like, hold on then. So then they have me stand at the back of the cruiser. The officer originally pulled me over. She stands there with me while the sergeant's doing his thing. And I don't know, like 20 minutes later, he comes back over. He's like, I got it all squared away. You're all set. I was like, no, hold on. You just like basically told me I might be getting arrested, that you guys think I have a fake ID, which is another crime in and of itself. And I was like, basically, you guys told me you have no idea who I am or what I am, yet I gave you my license. What is happening? And then like you asked for my social security number. That's never happened before. He's like,
that's wild.
Well, in all honesty, you can thank ICE for this one. I was like, what? He's like, your name. I was like, so because I have a Hispanic last name, I'm flagged in ICE. He's like, well, you're not just flagged, you're kind of removed from everything. So
Whoa,
I almost
that's wild.
got arrested because of a system with ICE flagging a US born citizen who spent my entire life in this country since the day I was born. 2 generations of my family have been born in the United States, and yet I got flagged. And the kicker is my last name isn't even Mexican, it's Spanish. So I
They
am
gonna look at it as
Hispanic,
being the same thing.
but the last name that we have is actually a Spaniard last name because my, grandfather had a thing for Mexican women, I guess. And he so anyways, yeah, now I'm flagged. And he's like, yeah, this might keep happening to you now.
Dang.
Cool. Very awesome. So my little fun story of the day is I've been profiled. And
You've been erased, bro.
yeah. Good.
Not profile, because that is which is the wild thing. I never had to carry around my stuff, my ID or none of that. I never had to carry it because I know everything by heart. So like when they ask me, it's like my ID number is whoop whoop. You feel me? But I ain't got my ID with me. Nothing had to happen. That'd be crazy.
They are quietly erasing American citizens' data, like your identifying information, like social security number, your passport information, your driver's license information from official records. So that if you get stopped or it needs to be pulled up and verified who you are,
they let ICE into the files.
It's
not the Epstein
vanished.
files.
You don't exist in the system. This is happening. I've seen now over maybe the last 4 months. This has come across my FYP 3 or 4 times only. At first, it was a man. I want to say he was maybe in Florida. Doesn't matter. He had a Cuban last name, but had been multiple generations an American citizen. Got stopped by the police.
Whoa, like
it,
man, yeah. I'm about to end this video, but I'm like going this. It kind of makes sense of what they're trying to do because it kind of flags you. They erase you now if you get pulled over by the cops. You feel me? The cops can call ICE or whatever, but it's like they can just kind of erase you from the database to where you seem like you don't even exist. So you're not supposed to be here. Like, which is just barnacles. But we know they can do it. It's been done before. This ain't the first. You feel me? But on that, I just want to share that because I talked about it in the last live. But I'm out, y'all. Have a good one, man. Peace out. Have a beautiful